Right now, you think you're watching a video. You're sitting somewhere. There's a screen in front of you, maybe a drink nearby. But here's a question that has bothered philosophers for centuries. And once it gets into your head, it does not leave. How do you know any of it is real? Let's run a thought experiment. Imagine a mad scientist, not an evil one, necessarily, just a very, very curious one. She takes a living brain and places it in a vat of liquid that keeps it alive. Nutrients in, waste out. The brain just floats there, perfectly healthy. Then she connects every nerve ending to a supercomputer. And this computer does one thing extraordinarily well. It sends the brain electrical signals, the exact signals a brain would receive if it were walking on a beach, feeling the sun, hearing the waves, tasting the salt in the air. The brain has no idea it's in a jar. As far as it's concerned, it's living a full, rich life. It has friends, a job, opinions about pineapple on pizza. Every experience feels completely real because to the brain, an experience just is a pattern of signals, and the computer delivers them perfectly. Okay, slightly creepy, sure, but here comes the part that actually matters. How do you know you aren't that brain in the vat right now? Think about it honestly. Every single thing you know about the world arrives through your senses. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. That is the only door reality has to get into your head. But if a computer fed you fake signals through those exact same doors, they would feel identical. There is no special "this is real" stamp on a genuine experience. From the inside, a perfect simulation and reality look exactly the same, which means you can't use your experience to prove your experience is true. That is the trap. If this feels like a modern science fiction worry, it isn't. Back in the 1641, a French philosopher named René Descartes was sitting alone, asking himself what he could truly know for certain. So he decided to doubt everything. Maybe his senses lied. Maybe the world outside didn't exist. And then he imagined the scariest version of all, an evil demon, a being so powerful and so deceptive that it could fake the entire world, the sky, the ground, his own body. A perfect illusion built just to trick him. Sound familiar? Swap the demon for a computer, and Descartes basically invented the brain in a vat over 350 years ago. The modern version was sharpened in 1981 by a philosopher named Hilary Putnam, who gave it the name we use today, and, as we'll see, also tried to talk us out of the nightmare. Now, your instinct is probably to fight back. Fine, you say. I'll just prove I'm real. So let's try. Pinch yourself. Felt it? A computer can fake pain. Pinching proves nothing. Knock on a table. Solid? The computer can fake solid. It can fake the sound, the resistance, the little ache in your knuckles. Ask a friend if they're real. In the simulation, your friend is part of the program. Of course they'll say yes. Here's the deep problem. Any test you run happens inside your experience. And your experience is exactly the thing in question. You can't step outside your own mind to check it against reality, because checking is itself just another experience. It's like trying to lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own shoelaces. The skeptic isn't even saying, you definitely are a brain in a vat. They're saying something sneakier. You could never tell the difference. And if you can't tell the difference, can you really say you know? This is where Putnam does something clever. He argued that the sentence, "I am a brain in a vat," might actually be impossible to truly say, at least if you really are one. Stay with me. His idea is about how words get their meaning. When you say tree, that word means tree because somewhere in your history, you have actually been connected to real trees. Words point at things through a real chain of contact. But a brain that has only ever lived in a simulation has never touched a real tree. So when it says tree, it can only be pointing at the simulated image. Its words refer to computer stuff, not real world stuff. So watch what happens when that brain says, "I am a brain in a vat." Its word brain means simulated brain. Its word vat means simulated vat. But it isn't a simulated brain inside a simulated vat. It's a real brain in a real vat. So the sentence comes out false. And if you are not in a vat, the sentence is obviously false too. So either way, I am a brain in a vat can't be truly stated by you. Putnam thought that was a tiny crack of light against total skepticism. Now, does this actually save us? Philosophers still argue about it. It rescues the sentence, but plenty of people feel it dodges the feeling. That gut-level fear that reality might not be real. The nightmare gets quieter. It doesn't quite go away. You've met this idea before, even if you didn't know its name. It's the Matrix. It's virtual reality getting better every single year. It's the simulation hypothesis, the serious suggestion that a future civilization could run so many realistic simulations of the past that a random conscious being might be more likely to be simulated than real. But here's why I think the brain in a vat is worth your 10 minutes. Even if no one ever proves anything, it's not really about computers or jars. It's a tool. It teaches you to notice the gap between feeling certain and actually knowing. It reminds you that confidence is not the same as proof, that the most convincing experience in the world still might not be telling you the truth. And weirdly, that's not paranoia. That's the beginning of thinking clearly. So, are you a brain in a vat? Almost certainly not. You probably can't prove it, but you can choose to live as though the world is real and get on with the beautiful, strange business of being here. Just maybe, every so often, it's worth pausing to ask, how do I know what I know? Because the day you stop asking that question is the day the jar wins.